Hello, my name is Marie Annharte Baker, but I'm going through a name change, so I've been kind of just tagging myself AKA. Sounds sort of hip hop, so it feels kind of cool. Anyways, I also want to introduce myself as not being brown, and the reason for that is I think in Ojibwe, people weren't really referred to by color. So when I was looking at all the different words that I thought meant white people, it actually doesn't refer to their color or their skin at all. So I don't really like that concept of having to run around like, do you have enough makeup on? Am I tanned enough? I don't like that. And I'm not from Big Sask, I'm from Little Sask. I think there was somebody that did not say Little Sask, and I was worried, that people would think I'm from Big Sask. I did live in Big Sask, but my relatives are from Little Sask. And I'm also not Aboriginal. Some people love that term, I don't. And I don't believe there was ever a Native American Renaissance, although a lot of people talk about that. For me, we're not close. And then again, I noticed a little miss on this one person who I was forced to read as a kid, and I don't know if other kids are forced to read her, but it was Pauline Johnson, and that was my first real knowledge of someone who was trying to write about the environment, who was trying to write about settlers and that kind of thing, and actually why I even think highly of her, even though a lot of people don't like her work, is because she did come through Winnipeg, and I think she was really inspired by what she saw of the Western Indigenous women. So I always feel like she kind of knew something about us and wrote about us. I think I would also like to say I'm not too interested in just books or writing. I think there's another term I'm more interested in, is called text. And it has to do with I'm kind of leaning towards a cultural studies approach, and also this has to do with having taken my course on Mayan writing, or I took an archaeology course where I studied that, and what I liked there was the concept of the togetherness of art and writing. And that right now in cultural studies, you can have text that is not a book or is not writing. And I kind of like that because I was always into sewing. So, when you look at Native women's clothing, I mean, there you have a text. And in some cases, people can even read that text. They even know what are the stories there that are in a person's clothing. Excuse me, got dried out on the plane, but this is kind of where I wrote this stuff, so it's way up in the air, let's say. You're not gonna like it. I felt I wasn't gonna say much anyway, because I just felt that there was this whole idea that our writing and that should be limited, again, just to books or something like that. But what our special difficulties are that I feel is that we are in an extreme high level of government corruption. Like in my case, my res, I think it's been 40 years, and they're now $1.2 million in debt, and whatever means that I can't get any educational subsidy or that, mostly because my family is in on corruption. And I feel badly about that, but what can I say? It's there's so much there that has to be changed in the communities. And also, I'm just recently doing stuff in disabilities, so I find that there's an incredible major epidemic of diabetes, and which will mean a great loss of our storytellers and the availability of also cultural healers. It happens very fast. I did a lot of interviews recently, and people are taken out of their communities in Manitoba, separated from their families, and have to end up living in an extremely horrific city called Winnipeg. Even me, I'm trying to escape from there. So I think that, well, back to the text idea. So we still have too many museums that are collecting Native texts. Those are our texts. They don't need to be gawked at by non-natives. Some of those texts are very precious to people, and especially families. I remember hearing about this big old famous Alberta writer who was sticking his old paws into a very famous bundle. And he did it because, oh, I'm writing a book, you know. I thought, but you're abusing another group of people. So I don't want to get into his name, but I have fun kind of getting after him at times when I see him. Anyways, there's such danger of people, you know, getting sick in our community because of the poor nutrition and all that is going on. I went up north. I was at Brochet, the home of a very famous other Native writer, and had the chance to ask the little kids there, have you ever heard of Wasikijak, Nanabush? Of course they hadn't. So just show you how interesting it is. On a worldwide stage, some say, oh, this great writer is going around talking about, you know, Wasikijak and all this, but in his home community, you know, the poor little kids don't even know about that. And then again, when you think about it, they run out of school supplies. So I'm going to be on the phone and say, hey, why don't you send some money up north, you know, to your community? I don't think I'll get anywhere, but I'm just going to ask anyway, just to be a kind of like a granny patrol, you know. So what I think is special is we need translation of our works into our languages, and also the teaching of our languages. This should have been part of the residential school compensation, and obviously somebody left that out. I think actually the most important thing is in our literature and in our art, we don't have enough humor. We really don't. It's almost like a desert compared to what really, like, you know, what it's like to really talk with other Native people and how we view things. This isn't coming through in terms of, you know, the kind of videos, the TV drama, all that. So I want to say that's one of the things that we still have to work hard to get into our work. The level of abuse in our communities is so high, like in northern Manitoba, if you're trying to do anything cultural in the community, you're called a witch. So when is the burning going to take place, you know? Help, you know? So there's much work that has to be done there just for the acceptance of our own visions and insights about what our ancestors were like, because we have a group of Native people who do not want that anymore. And I think we are going to have to do a bit of work convincing them they may need that for their health and for their spirit.